You're training AI, but it's also training you. Every time you use AI, something small happens. Not to the tool, to you. It's not obvious. It doesn't feel negative, and it doesn't show up immediately. But over time, it adds up. We usually talk about AI learning from us, our prompts, our preferences, our feedback, and that's true. But it's only half the story. Because while AI adapts to how you use it, you also adapt to how it responds. And that adaptation is rarely intentional. Most learning is loud. You study, you practice, you struggle. This kind of learning is quiet. It happens through repetition, through convenience, through relief. You don't notice it because nothing feels like effort. Think about the first time you used AI seriously. You probably wrote a careful prompt. You explained context. You clarified what you wanted. You adjusted and refined. Now compare that to how you use it today. Shorter prompts, less explanation, more assumption. Not because you got worse, but because the tool got better. And as it improved, your behavior simplified. Simplification sounds positive, but simplification always removes something. When prompts get shorter, nuance disappears. When context is implied instead of stated, assumptions creep in. And when AI fills the gaps confidently, those assumptions stop being questioned. You're not thinking less, you're thinking differently. Here's the loop most people fall into without realizing. You give a vague prompt. AI gives a clean answer. You accept it because it's good enough. Next time, you're even vaguer. The tool adapts to ambiguity, and you adapt to certainty. That loop feels efficient, but it quietly reshapes expectations. Over time, a few habits fade. You stop fully defining problems, exploring multiple framings, sitting with partial understanding. Because the tool resolves uncertainty faster than you can. Not better, just faster. And speed feels like progress. This isn't about discipline or intelligence. Human behavior always adapts to tools. Spell check changed how we spell. GPS changed how we navigate. Calculators changed how we estimate. AI is no different. The difference is where the adaptation happens. This time, it's happening in thinking itself. One of the strangest effects is confidence. Not arrogance, not ignorance, just quiet certainty. You feel informed faster. Decisions feel easier. But the confidence arrives before understanding does. And because nothing goes wrong immediately, it feels earned. Over long periods, this changes how problems feel. Messy questions start to feel uncomfortable. Open-ended thinking feels inefficient. You begin to prefer problems that can be resolved cleanly, not because they're better, but because they fit the tools you use. We assume tools adapt to us, but powerful tools eventually shape the user. Not by force, by convenience. You don't notice the shift because it feels helpful at every step, until you look back and realize your process has changed. Imagine explaining a complex idea to someone else. You know the conclusion, but you struggle to explain how you got there. Not because you didn't think, but because the thinking happened collaboratively, with a system that no longer needs to be present. The scaffolding is gone. None of this is a reason to stop using AI. It's a reason to use it deliberately. Tools don't decide how they shape us. Usage does. And most usage is unconscious. Instead of asking, "What answer do I want?" try, "What thinking do I want help with?" That shift alone changes the interaction. It slows things down slightly, but it keeps you in the loop. Deliberate use feels slower, less polished, less impressive. You don't get instant clarity, but you get something better: ownership of the reasoning. If you don't notice the feedback loop, nothing collapses. Work still gets done. But over time, you rely on outputs you didn't fully shape. You trust conclusions you didn't test. You mistake fluency for understanding. And it's hard to tell when that line was crossed. You're always training AI. That part is obvious. What's easier to miss is how often it's training you back. Not intentionally, just quietly.